Welcome to Stampscaping 101. We're going to do a StazOn on foil kind of do and don't type of video here. Stamping on this type of foil, you need to really, or any type of non-porous type of surface, you have to use the right type of media on it. Brilliance ink is a type of pigment ink that's water-based and fast-drying and can dry on these surfaces here, but it won't adhere, okay? So sometimes if you watch my videos, I'm using the Brilliance for different types of reasons. I might stamp on there and I might use this same type of ink to shade my objects and areas. But if we want to do a really quick scene, StazOn's the way to go, or some other type of solvent ink, okay? Now, I'm going to show you something that I learned, I don't know, sometime in the past, but I just did this quick scene yesterday, and this is what came out from my first impression. Now, let me do this again so you can, compare and contrast. I'll use this other side of this piece of I don't know what brand it is. It's a certain type of foil, okay? Not all foils are going to be the same either. Okay, so let me show you the don't. Inking up, it's a good idea to re-ink your StazOn before you're stamping on this type of thing. Just because you're going to have enough ink on there to get your impression before it starts to dry up, as you're lowering your stamp to surface. Okay, now I'm holding this down for, a decent amount of time here, okay? But now, see, this is really stuck on here, okay? And you have to kind of peel it off. It's dried on there, all right? So see, what I did was, that StazOn ink dried in between the time that I lowered and made contact with my surface, and by the time I lifted it up. So what I did was, it didn't transfer the ink over. It did in some areas. But for the most part, what it did was it actually removed this printed metallic ink off of the surface. So instead of a transfer, it removed. And I'm sure that, metallic surface or ink that's making the shimmer and look blue is on this stamp right here, okay? So here's what you want to do. Ink up, get your impression made, and then lift. And you got a great impression every time. I don't know every time, but it seems to me that it's a really quick process, okay? So let's go like this again. I would have this lid in your hand, maybe. Or I don't know, just put it back on there really fast. Make your impression. No fiddling around. And you got to get a pretty good impression. Now, I've done some impressions where it's a little bit lighter, okay? Maybe where I'm, lowering the thing and it's drying really fast. Now, in my area right here, it's really arid and warm at this point in time in the year or whatever, or this week. So that's going to contribute it to such a fast drying type of thing. This is it's like a solvent in there, so it's almost like as if you had like a layer of rubbing alcohol or something like that. If you're going like that, you know what I mean? How fast alcohol, whatever, dissipates, evaporates, I should say. That's almost kind of what it's going. Or if you had like gasoline as opposed to water, it's just going to dry so much faster. Okay, but that being said, let's try it on this type of very, very mirrored foil. It's the same type of foil that my silver and gold one is. I hardly ever use the red. I need to find some good usages for the red. Red's so dark, though. But this is a really coated and very, very mirrored surface. So I don't know if it's the same type of printing that this one is, okay? This one's more of like a I don't know, like a brushed aluminum or something like that look. This one's heavily coated, and it might even have some kind of coating over the top of it. This one is not. Okay, so let's see if we can transfer. I'm going to see if it lifts off of the surface by doing this, you know, a long impression. Now, all of you might already know this type of thing. I don't know too many people that were stamping on foils in the past, but I don't know this type of thing because I wasn't using StazOn very much either. So let's see how this goes. It certainly, you know, adheres, you know, quite a bit. I didn't know that really about StazOn. I have a nice StazOn pad probably for 20 years, but I just didn't use it too much. Didn't really need to, but when you start stamping on these other types of surfaces. Okay, now I peeled that one. Now that one dried completely, but this one's coated a lot, so I don't know if I can get the angle here. Okay, but that one printed out very well and adhered. Here, let me just do it on this silver one so you can see. So, okay, so on this one right here, this heavily coated one, it's the one that I've been really advertising for a really long time when I started using foils. Because I really like the price per sheet of this brand of foil. But apparently it's really coated, and so far so good. It doesn't seem to matter if you're holding this down for too long and it dries. I mean, you saw how, you know, adhered it was. Okay, so let's go with this one again. So this is still really stuck. Well, this one not too bad. Okay, and you get a really good impression right here. It didn't remove, okay? So there's that brand. All right, this brand's the same thing, it's just different colors, okay? All right, now here's another brand of foil that I've recommended quite a bit. It's the Recollections, I believe, the one that they sell at Michael's. They also sell it on Amazon now as well. But this one's kind of a real cheap one. It's like printed on, you know, that, I don't know, it's not butcher roll paper, it's like thinner than that, so it's really inexpensive. Now this one, I know that this printed surface on here is exposed because when I'm using it and applying water-based media to it, like with a cotton ball, it bleeds. All right, so let's test this one and see how well it's adhered to this, you know, whatever paper that is there. Okay, I'm just purposely trying to, you know, hold this down here so that it really dries and adheres, because I want to see if there's that removal type of situation going on. This one's peeling off pretty good. Okay, now that one is adhered really well. Okay, you see our impression on there. No problem. This is a real textured paper too sometimes. Not all the time. This Recollection one seems to vary. Maybe a little bit from pack to pack. This one almost looks like it's like lizard skin or something like that with that patterning on there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, but here's this one right here. Let me see if I have a couple others that I can show you that might be a little bit different. Now remember, this is mirrored foil. It's not something like a holographic printable vinyl, you know, and that's a different type of surface altogether. Okay, here's one that I think this happened to before. Okay, so here's this holographic. Actually, this isn't too much different from this because This is the, I forgot what pack this one came out of, but it's the same pack as this, believe it or not. But do you see where this surface on here, this is the lakeside cabin, okay? So you see where it's, I know this paper is so loud it's hard to see, but do you see on here where there's the black impression here? I don't even need to make the impression, but you can see in these spots right in here where it's not black, and that's not because of the illusion of all this color in here. It's because that's where some of it transferred like that, and some of it, you know, really kind of removed this surface on here, okay? Like I said, this one's out of the same pack as this. This one comes from the blue pack, though. This one was like in the, oh, I don't know if it was in the gold pack or something like that. I bought 2 or 3 different versions of this type of holographic packet, but it's a multi-pack of, I don't know, I think 5 different patterns like that. Okay, so there's that right there. This one on here, it almost looks kind of cool because it gives it that bluish tinge where it removed ink. I don't know if you can go for some sort of effect where you really hold this down for a long time and then you remove it and it's like a reverse impression in there. You know, I mean, maybe you can do something like that. It doesn't seem like it'd be terribly predictable, though. And let's see if I have any other types of foils here. Here's another Recollections here. This Recollections one right here is really super smooth, though. It's almost like this one right here, okay? This one right here, it's like totally crackled, right? Let's give it a try on this Recollection right here. This one's out of the, I don't know if that one's out of the Jewel Tone pack. I think it's out of the Jewel Tone pack. It's the orange one that I don't use too often. Or I don't know, I just haven't used it too much. But let's go for the long impression. Okay, so I mean, if it works in the long impression, it's going to work in the, you know, the faster impression too. Just the longer one on, you know, that other blue foil right here is the one that, you know, is prone to, you know, I don't know, whatever, ink lifting than the other ones. Okay, so it's always good to do kind of a test print on the surface that you're doing. You know, have a little piece of scrap, you know, that you can test your you know, things on. You have a little, I don't know, strip of it or something like that, and just stamp a, you know, small image on there maybe. Peeling off. The Recollections is holding up. I'm really surprised because this Recollection foil, it's like really inexpensive. It's always on sale, you know, Michael's types of deals. But I don't know, that ink and that surface is really adhered to it. And again, that's kind of surprises me because sometimes when I'm adding white pigment ink over this with water-based, you know, the Brilliance on here, not on this orange one, but on the other ones, you know, as I'm doing that, I look at my cotton ball and it has the color off of the surface. I'm not sure if it's every color, if it's just the blue, but yeah. All right, so anyways, do a little testing on your pieces, but if you come up with something like that, then you know what to do now with the faster impression right here. Look at this one right here. I can make possibly a little bit of a, like an underwater cave or something like this, or you know, this is a nighttime type of scene. I can put some stars up here. Okay, so here's this little area in here that didn't print out, of course, but I removed the impression. Let me just go for it again here. I'll just overlap here. You know, Stampscape stamps are made to overlap and to change the angles. So let's put it to the test here with like extreme overlapping. Okay, I'm not, you know, using a stamp positioner to try to get this in the exact same positioning again. I'll just go like this here. And we'll see if we can kind of save this piece. It's not too bad. Now, if I add in some other things around there, you know, add in a little bit of shading around there. I don't know with what. Colored pencil, or you can use the Brilliance ink. You can't really shade with this one right here because if I put this on a cotton ball or something like this, by the time I come over here, it's going to be dry on my cotton ball, so that, you know, no way. Oh, the other thing I should say, that the larger the, or the more solid the stamp, probably the faster you want to go, but you want to have it fast enough where it's transferring over there. You don't want to go like that, you know, that's not going to transfer the ink. So on there, good pressure and lift. But like I said, it might come up with a little bit of a lighter impression than, you know, the dark black that you're, you know, would ideally have. But even if it comes up a little bit lighter, see, my tower came up a little bit lighter. It's not as dark as this one, or this tree right here is a little bit lighter than this one. Okay, I was going a little bit too fast. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's not so precarious. I mean, once you get the feel of it, you know, I mean, this was like my first one doing this, okay? So, not a lot of experience. And, you know, you might just need to kind of refresh muscle memory, you know, if you do it again. But here, let me try something right here. I know this isn't this video and it's going to prolong the video, but let's add a little bit of this Brilliance ink in here, and I'll spray seal this when I'm done. But I like the look of this type of thing right here. These cave types of scenes are really fun to do because it kind of creates like a little bit of a portal or something like that into, you know, a different type of area. Doing a little vignette around there. Let's kind of spread it around a little bit. This is the Brilliance ink, okay? And again, the Brilliance ink is, it's a water-based pigment ink. It's fast drying, but it's fast drying relative to like dye-based ink or something like that, or a oil-based pigment ink. You know, oil-based media is going to be the thing that dries the slowest, of course. Just like oil paints or something like that, or if you spill some oil on something, you know, it's not going to dry very quickly. So it gives you time to kind of spread it around like this, or to adjust it. Actually, I'm kind of removing it right now. Remember, this is a foil cardstock, not a printable vinyl. Printable vinyl, it would grab this and it would dry instantly on that emulsion surface. But there you have this little kind of cave type of thing. You see how I've kind of shaded around on the edges like that. You can put, I don't know, little bushes or plants or something like that up there. And that would be kind of fun. Let me go a little bit darker on the very corners here. This is what I call tipping the edges. I don't know why I called it that. I don't know if that tipping. But it's kind of just applying a little bit to the very corners, the very edges like that, and that kind of, I don't know, breaks up that you know, rectangular shape a little bit at least. You know, which is a harsh edge. Something like that, and let's put a few little stars in my sky. This is a light blue, almost the same exact tone as the paper itself. Let's try a couple little green ones on here. The green stands out a little bit more due to the change in hue. And I'll take a white pen. And this one will provide the most amount of contrast. We need a little quote stamp up here. From Scenic Sentiments number 2 that has all the kind of night sky type of quotes or sayings. It's like looking up in the night sky like that. You wouldn't have these birds, but maybe they were roosting and someone scared them. Oh, let's see. Okay, stamped it out in the Brilliance Black. For a minute there, I thought I used the a dye-based ink, but I didn't. All right, but anyways, you get the point. I just wanted to see this one done. Why not have a little bit of fun on this kind of beware type of video right here. All right, so StazOn on certain types of folios. Maybe it's just that one pack here. I gotta think it's going to be a lot of other types of packs or brands like this one. Some of them do a little bit of test print, see how it comes out, and you'll know about how long you can position your stamp on the material before it adheres and potentially removes it. On some of these, apparently, you don't have to worry about it, which is a good thing. So, yeah. But always have a little bit of a test strip, you know, whenever you're testing for compatibility between media and surface. Anytime it's a new one, especially if you get different types of card stocks, you really don't have to do, you know, too much testing. But if it's especially kind of boutique, you know, type of surface like foils, printable vinyls, etc., test it with your different media and see how it's going to come out. So that's what I've done, like with something like this on the printable vinyl, just you know, for my own reference. And then especially if it's something that you're not doing all the time, maybe you don't do it for a year or something like that, or maybe you've only done it once and you don't do it for a couple months and you've gone through a lot of different types of you know, materials and things like that, and you go back to it and you can't remember, you can always refer to your test strip again and see what worked. Okay, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions on this or any comments of, you know, things that you have experienced and, like, you know, what brand of foil or something you've used and, you know, things for us to watch out for, please list it, or please make note of it in the comments section for all of us to be able to reference. All right, thanks for watching.